Rebels.com here with five-star defensive tackle Walter Nolen. Walter, you're a guy that a lot of eyes are on, a lot of people always talking about, one of the top players in the 2022 class. And, you know, what you said, somewhere between 30 and 40 offers right now. You've been recruited for a couple of years since you were a freshman. You're ready to name a top 10. But before that, I mean, how difficult was it for you to get down to 10 schools from that many offers?
I get this question a lot. It wasn't really that hard, but like towards the end, like naming like my last two schools, like it was starting to get a little difficult because like it was like anybody could end up in the last two spots just based off relationship wise.
Yeah, I'm sure like you just the whole year of 2020 and into early 2021 made it that much more difficult, not being able to get out and see different campuses, get the feel for different environments, see coaches face to face. That probably made it that much tougher for you to figure out, maybe who are the right schools for you as far as the top 10 goes. Without waiting any longer, let's just go ahead and put it out there. Who are your top 10 schools?
I got LSU, Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida, University of South California, Oregon, Auburn, and Tennessee.
I mean, you got schools from, coast to coast, down from Florida, in the Sunshine State over to Clemson, out to USC, up to Oregon, up to the Midwest, Ohio State, and schools in between. Obviously national, a national list for you. A lot of top programs, schools dream of playing for. I know we were talking earlier, and you talked about how key relationships were in shaping of this list. Was that the number one factor that helped you get to these 10 schools?
Yeah, pretty much, and just looking at cause like you can't just go to a school without doing your research first. Like, I was just like looking at who would possibly be my teammates for the next 3 to 4 years, and just stuff like that. Like a lot of stuff played in the factor.
When you say teammates, are you looking specifically at, who you would play next to on the defensive line? Just are you looking at like quarterbacks? I mean, skill guys too, or when you talk about future teammates, what are you looking at there?
Just basically everything, cause like whatever school I want to go to, I want to go against the best competition. I want to go against the best player they got on the other side.
Yeah, obviously the best make you better for sure every day. The competition without question. Um, out of those 10 schools, you've visited three so far. I know you've been to Alabama, LSU, and Tennessee. Uh,
Yeah,
even though I started covering you when you were a freshman, right outside that locker room door at Olive Branch in Mississippi, you're now a
yeah.
Tennessee kid in the Memphis area. So let's start with the in-state school, the Tennessee Vols, going through a transition right now from Jeremy Pruitt to Josh Heupel, the new head football coach in Knoxville. You've spoken to Coach Heupel a couple of times already. What's your initial impression or thoughts on him?
I mean, he just based off what I've talked to him these past couple of times. I mean, I can tell that he a pretty cool dude, and he ready to put in work and hopefully bring Tennessee back to one of the top schools in the SEC again.
What's maybe his been or maybe been his initial message to you? What's he trying to tell you about? Is it more just getting to know you right now? Is there a message him trying to get you to come to Tennessee and buy into what he's trying to do in Knoxville? What's been his, I guess, message to you so far?
Just getting to know me, because I mean, once you get to know a person, it's easier like to talk to him and like be able to get him to buy into your program, basically.
I know a guy you've always talked about, pretty well, and that's Coach Ogeron. So you say Coach O. Everybody calls
Yeah.
him Coach O. Head football coach at LSU, national champion, a year ago. Um, you always talked about him coaching D-line, him knowing your position. How much does that maybe help LSU with him being that the head coach is involved and knows your position?
I mean, it plays a little part in it, because like knowing that if I go to that school, I'm gonna be able to get like not one-on-one time, but like be able to get some like time with my fellow defensive linemen and him working with us and stuff like that in practice and stuff. I mean, I feel like there'll be a great experience and a great opportunity for me to better myself.
If you had to give me the main reason why LSU made your top 10, what would that be?
Just based off I like when I went on my visit, I had a great time. I mean, I got to talk to some of the coaches, and it just felt like one of the places I might be able to call home one day.
Yeah, I mean, one of your friends right now, former teammates, Xavier Hill from
Yeah.
Olive Branch, he's there playing at LSU. You've been to Alabama as well. You've been around, that atmosphere, that environment. Who's your lead coach as far as recruiter for Alabama?
Probably Coach Freddie Roach, the defensive line coach. He been on me pretty tough. And I have some Zoom meetings with Coach Saban himself. So I mean, just basically like all the coaches playing a part in this too, and even the recruiting department, just really everybody coming after me.
But what are the reasons about Alabama? Like what makes them a contender for you?
I mean, like I said before, I mean, Alabama is Alabama. I mean, it's one of the greatest opportunities you can have. Not even for football, but education wise, just being able to go there and put in work with one of the best coaches that ever stepped foot on the college field it's an unspeakable experience.
Yeah, how much does winning play into your, top 10 and ultimately your decision down the road? I mean, do you look at wins and losses, who's playing in the playoffs, who you had the best chance to win a championship with?
I mean, like when I was younger, I was always raised to like it ain't okay to just take a loss and be stuck on it. You supposed to even after a loss, you supposed to keep working and always have a winning mindset and and just be ready to win at any cost. So I mean, winning right now it ain't got no big factor into it. I mean, because hope going to college is gonna be able to give me a chance to get where I want to in the next couple years after I finish with getting a degree and stuff, and just basically give me a chance to get to the NFL hopefully. And I mean, of course, winning would be a great thing to do. Being able to win for their home state and being able to hopefully go on the bigger stage and play for the national championship. I mean, it'll always play a factor in it sometimes, but at the moment, not right now.
Let's talk about the team that just got there, another one, Ohio State. You talked to me before about them and, Larry Johnson, your relationship with him, what he's done with defensive linemen in the past, at Ohio State, Penn State, his history there. What's your thoughts on him? And I guess how key what was his development in Ohio State making this first cut?
I mean, just watching his D line play, I mean, you can tell that he coaching them to be the best they can be at all times, and I mean, it'll sound good to be able to call myself one of his players one day, hopefully, or maybe just being one of the people saying that I was able to get some tips from Coach Johnson himself going on in life.
How much do you guys communicate?
We talk probably once or twice a week.
He's an old school guy. He's been around, for a while. Is he a little different maybe than say like a Freddie Roach is more a little younger and maybe recruits a little bit differently for Alabama? How would you describe, Coach Johnson's, recruiting and kind of how he goes about his business?
Um, just hello.
Yeah, you're good.
Just based off my recruiting these past couple years, I mean, it's really three different type of recruiting styles. I mean, it's the coaches who gonna press you every day, who gonna be on you, just ready to talk to you at any time. Then there's some of the coaches who laid back and like they understand like how the recruiting process go, and that sometimes you might be busy. And I feel like Coach Johnson one of them, and then another one just like a moderate. Like one week he on you tough, and then one week he just chill, like he knows what you're going through.
Well, let me put you on the spot then. Which kind of coach do you prefer? Which one do you like the most? You want one that's blowing up that phone every day, multiple times a day? Or do you want one that's more laid back? Or do you want more that's in between?
I mean, myself, I want one like in between because sometimes I have to step away from the phone and like have to let my phone ring sometimes because I be overwhelmed sometimes.
Yeah, I can understand it, man. Obviously, a guy like yourself. So I'm gonna hit you real quick with, the other schools. Just kind of like give me a reason why you like those schools. So obviously, if people didn't know, in between your time in Memphis and Mississippi, you're at IMG Academy. You were in the state of
Yeah.
Florida. We talked a week or so ago. You said Florida would definitely be a school in the mix when you made that cut. Why is Florida on this list?
I mean, just Dan Mullen and his defensive staff he got over there. And I know a couple guys who play over there now who every day they telling me it's probably one of the better decisions they made going into college, and it was just like getting to know Coach Turner. It was just I know I just knew it. I want to have him in my top schools.
You told me too. One of the first schools you talked to me about was Clemson. You
Yeah.
haven't been there yet. You have good connection um, with Coach Bates, Coach Venables. Both those guys recruit you for Clemson. You told me that's definitely a place you're going to see as soon as things open back up. But why is Clemson on this list?
The man just the way they run it over there. I mean, like, cause I mean, I understand like they are winning, but they not running their school like no factory. Like they trying to have fun, joke around with their players and stuff. And I just feel like I feel like it's a fun environment and like a cultural environment, family environment over there.
But let's stay in the South. Another Tigers. Clemson Tigers to the Auburn Tigers. A big Alabama rival in the Iron Bowl. They went through a coaching change as well, like Tennessee's doing right now. New head coach there. What is it about Auburn? Through this coaching change that's put them on this list.
Just I mean, just getting to talk to their staff and being able to tell that they ready to work and like being able to talk to them, they giving me pointers on how I can do better in the game, and me not even being there yet, or me not even like having them on the sideline coaching me.
I know that's a new staff to you, guys. You're getting to know, as we speak over at Auburn. Let's go up north to Michigan. Another rivalry. You love Ohio State. You've already talked about them. Michigan's a huge rival game for Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh, he's got an NFL track record there. New coaches on his staff this year too. What about Michigan? Put them on the list.
Just Coach Harbaugh himself. I mean, just being able to talk to him a couple times, being able to get to know him as a person, and I feel like I enjoy playing over there for him because like he even him being coaching on one of my favorite teams in the NFL, I feel like he know what I need to do and how I need to do it to get to where I want to go.
Let's finish up with schools 9 and 10 out on the West Coast, Pac-12 boys, USC and Oregon. Let's
Yeah,
speak on both those schools. Talk about USC first and then Oregon.
I mean, I always dreamt of going to Cali and playing for a Cali school, so it was just like when they called my phone, they saying they wanted to offer me. It was like it was like a blessing. It was unbelievable. So of course they were gonna be in my top 10 because I always dreamt of playing for a school like that.
Is there a certain coach at USC you've talked to, a good bit and communicated with?
No, I really talked to all of them about the same.
And then what about Oregon? Crystal Ball has them knocking on the door. Pac-12 champions, playing for maybe the playoffs, national championship game. He's coached at Miami. He played there, Alabama. What about Oregon stands out to you?
Just the way they coach, he after me. I mean, like you can tell. You can tell that if we would have been on the phone together, you can tell how much he enjoyed talking to me as a person, not even just as a football player, but like getting to know me.
What's it mean to have so many head coaches coming at you personally right now? I mean, not talking about Crystal Ball or talking about Nick Saban, Coach O. What's that mean to you? Does that show you? I know you mentioned you talked to Coach Day as well at Ohio State. What does that tell you about how important you are to that program?
It just really, like you said, how important I am. It can show that like they want me to be there up under their guidance and up under their coaching style, and, bettering myself as a player, but not only as a player, as a person also.
Now you talked about this process and putting that phone away, letting it ring every now and then, because things do get overwhelming for you as a student athlete. In high school, only a junior, being recruited, every day. Do you think that feeling will lead you to commit somewhere early in the process to kind of, I guess, somewhat get it over with, even though schools aren't going to give up on a player like you until you sign? But where do you kind of, I guess my question mainly is, where do you go from here? You got a top 10. What's next for you now?
Basically just really focusing on myself and like the top 10 at the end of it. I mean, like at any point another school can take over. So it's just like me getting ready to focus on my senior year and focus on myself going into my senior year.
I mean, I know if I ask you, what schools do you want to visit when visits can open back up again, you're gonna say every one of them. I know you're gonna say that.
Yeah.
I know that's what you want to do. That's your plan. Nothing's locked in yet because really it can't be till things open back up. But when you do go on those visits, whether it be to Ohio State, to Oregon, to Clemson, to Florida, what's important on those trips for you? What are you looking for when you step on these different campuses?
Basically just seeing what everything they got to offer in person instead of being on the virtual tour. So it was just basically getting like a feel for the school in person, basically.
When do you want to commit, Walter? What in our world right now is far from perfect, but in the perfect world, perfect scenario for Walter Nolen to commit to a school, do you have what would be that perfect time for you?
Perfect time. It probably wouldn't even be a commitment. It'll probably be just the perfect dream thing for me is being able to sign on ESPN with everybody watching on TV, seeing where I'm gonna go.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me to see you have that opportunity when that time comes for sure. You got top programs across the country coming after you, the most coveted players in the country. The guy can dominate for sure on defensive line, but I've seen this guy practice throwing the ball 60 yards with ease, with a spiral, very catchable, super athletic. Has played basketball growing up. This kid, if you didn't already know, is the real deal out there in 2022. Walter, thank you so much for your time, man, and best of luck going through this process.
Thank you.